This is the Cowboys Report. I am Tom Downey. It's a mailbag. We answer all of your questions live on Monday as they come in, or if they came in the past week on the Super Thanks side of things. So Super Thanks are awesome. We appreciate those of you who do it. If you do it, we will give you guys some shout-outs. First up from Isaiah Burgos. I think I pronounced the last name right. If not, I'm sorry. Huge fan of the show. Thoughts on bringing in Rashaan Evans to pair up with Leighton Vander Esch? Also, why hasn't he been signed yet? A couple reasons. I think a big factor here is the numbers are deceptive. 159 tackles. He got beat in coverage a lot. So Evans, I think, is in that stage where he's going to have to wait. He's not a premier interest player. He will probably wait until after the draft to sign somewhere. If you don't take a linebacker at all, Evans would be on my post-draft free agent target list, but he's not a premier player that I think was going to command a bunch of interest in advance. From Cocaine Cowboy, what a great username. $5, super thanks again. Thank you, my friend. If Jalen Carter makes it past the Lions at 6, would our first, third, and sixth be a good trade with the Falcons at number 8? Would that be a good compensation for both teams? I think he's being it past Philadelphia at 10. Dallas is a good building, supports some players off the field, mental health issues. So I agree with the vast majority of that. Probably does not make it past Philadelphia. Dallas is a good support system. The trade value is not that close, though. The more accurate trade value, and it still might be a bit on the low end in a more Cowboys-friendly trade, your first and 2 seconds. A third and a sixth does not get you in the top 10 from number 26. It gets you like maybe number 15 if you're lucky. You have to give up a lot more to go get Jalen Carter. And with the concerns, I don't know if that's a worthwhile gamble for the Cowboys. So the trade value, way higher. From Jeremy Chuggs' burner, if we take a Branch Addison or Joey Porter Jr., what happens with the depth chart? Also, I think RB is a horrible value for the first round, but it's 26, and Bijan gives the best win-now value if available. So a lot of thoughts here. Take Branch, Addison, JPJ. They might not play for you that much in year one, but they're going to be a critical part of your defense next year or offense next year. So from that standpoint, you're not getting immediate returns, but the value you're getting, players you didn't think would be there, make it still a worthwhile pick, and you can still work them in and get them snaps to where they're still helping you enough there. As for Bijan, it's good value for the level of player you have. He'd be the best player on your board. Also, remember this. The last time a running back put a team over the top was Emmitt Smith in his holdout. Hasn't happened. Niners were still playing well before they got McCaffrey. Didn't result in the wins in the end. Running backs, they're luxury picks. Are you in a luxury stage? I'm not so sure. So who do you want the Cowboys to draft in the first round this year? It is the pinned comments of today's mailbag. So if an ad break happens to come here on YouTube, cool. Ignore the ad. Head down there. Let me know which player you want to take in the first round. From JT, I've seen over Twitter, Dolphins fans want to trade Steele for Cedric Wilson, and JT says, hell no, because JT's right. It's a horrible trade. Nobody is going to trade a starting caliber right tackle for a number 4 wide receiver who barely played and costs more by almost double than said offensive tackle. It's bad business. Wilson was not good in Miami. He fell down the depth chart. If Miami wants to eat some salary, I could make a trade for a 6th rounder. I'm not trading Steele for a backup wide receiver. Chris B., thoughts on our top 30 visits so far? I think we take a receiver in the first round. I still vote probably not on the wide receiver side, but they're doing their due diligence, favorite buzzword there, looking at some smaller receivers as well. So there is receiver interest. I think they're trying to figure out how good the class is, and I think they're getting maybe not the best results for that question. Jimmy Productions, how would Tank Dell or Josh Downs with us? I think they'd be slot only for you, and that should scare you because the Cowboys don't like slot-only players with premium picks. You know, the occasional Cole Beasley is different. They took Ryan Fisher because they were going to pick Donnell Pumphrey, and Eagles sniped him one pick before, and they kind of panicked and took Switzer a little bit. So Dell's a slot, Downs a slot. I like the players, but if their plan is to play Lamb at the slot a bunch, might not be the best fit. Horn family. How deep is this draft for guards and defensive tackle? Run-stopping DTs you can find throughout. The impact 3 techniques, it's not great. It's thin, and they're kind of small. At the time, Adibare, I think, is a small guy. Who I think is going to play DT more to an edge. He played it with Western. Kalijah Cansey's a small guy. You know, Brian Brzezzi's big, but isn't very productive. So outside of Jalen Carter, it's not high on proven impact players. Guard, I think it's pretty thin. There are some potential day 3 guys I like, but they've all got some red flags. Namely, I like Chandler Zavala. He's got a back problem. That should be a red flag. Cowboys draft hats are on sale. Chatsports.com/Cowboys draft, the official NFL draft hats for 2023. They actually look pretty good. In some years, they've been pretty mediocre. They've got the stone color, and they've also finally, at long last, busted out the full blue one, which I think looks better than the stone ones there. So get yours today. Chatsports.com/Cowboys draft. Links in the comments section and the description of today's show. Go check them out. Jalen, would you trade? Jeremy loves your profile picture. He's laughing behind the scenes. Trade up in the second round for Jahmyr Gibbs. I don't love moving up for a running back. But if you do it in my last mock draft, you trade down, then trade up, I feel better about it. But if you walk out of the draft with like a guard and Jahmyr Gibbs, it's a pretty good haul. Jeff Warren Jr. Need another big body DT. F-Chugs. You can always type in F-Chugs in the comment section. Yeah, I think you do need one more guy. Several of those guys throughout the draft, you could probably find one if they can offer you some pass rush value, boom, bonus points. But TBD if that's the case there. Carlos Watkins is gone. I don't trust Bohanna or Gallimore, unfortunately. JB King. We picked Dalton Kincaid. We were in the Super Bowl. Teams who win Super Bowls have great tight ends. Having the mismatched tight end is valuable. There's also a poor track record of first-round tight ends. And for Kincaid in particular, how's that back doing? I had a back issue all pre-draft process. That should raise some red flags, and we'll know how it checked out based on where he goes. Now, if you want to join our award-winning mailbags, awards from my mom, make sure you are subscribed. YouTube.com/@CowboysTV. Free videos every single day when you guys are subscribed. Eddie Joe, Riley Moss, cornerback, 6'1", Iowa, day 3 steal. If he gets there on day 3, that'd be a great pick. Really good production out of Iowa. I think 4th round, if you take him there, I would have no complaints whatsoever. Dylan Fields, what are the Cowboys doing with the Steele at left guard stuff? 2 thoughts. Trying really hard to not let people know they're taking a left guard in round 1. Number 2, doing really weird cutesy bullshit of contract negotiation stuff with Terrence Steele. I don't know which is which. I think if you look at the play last year, Terrence Steele at right tackle was better than Tyron Smith at right tackle. I would make Tyron your swing tackle. Now, maybe you promised Tyron to get the cheap deal. Hey, you know, we're gonna start you or something like that. It's weird. It doesn't really make a lot of sense because we've all watched the games. Terrence Steele was better. Let's pick a right tackle. 78 for Terrence Steele. 71 for Tyron Smith. You can go vote. It's their jersey numbers, by the way. Sound off for me in the comments section. Who would you rather start, assuming both are healthy week 1, at right tackle? Brokov, do you like Trenton Simpson at 26? I think he'd be an elite linebacker. I liked him more last year. I thought he was a little bit more impactful. I thought he was a little bit better in coverage. He missed fewer tackles. He's a really great athlete, but he's a coverage linebacker. That's how he's built, right? He's 6'2", 235. He's never broken up a pass. So he can blitz a little bit, but he's not going to be. He's not a Micah Parsons blitzer. So he's a run and chase linebacker with limited pass rush moves. He's an overall good tackler. I think he can play man against tight ends, but I haven't seen the ball skills to make me confident in that. But he is a great athlete. I would feel better about him in the second round than I would at 26 overall. Vince, which realistic first-round picks helps the Cowboys win the most in order to win right now? It's probably one of the trench players. So it could be if you want the impact 3 technique, could be a Kalijah Kancey, or it could be a guard, a plug-and-play guard, because if your offensive line is good up front, it makes everything way easier. Whether that's Osiris Torrance, Steve Avila, I'd say one of those guys. From Cutta, Hendon Hooker to the Cowboys. Well, if the buzz of him going round 1 is true, hell no, he's not a round 1 player. Late third round? Sure. 4th round, I'm in, but I think we have to be realistic with our expectations for a very productive 2022 and 2021 quarterback who I think is pretty clearly quarterback 5 in this year's class. You can argue QB4 over Will Levis if you want to. But I would be a lot more interested if we didn't have a 25-year-old quarterback coming off a torn ACL in a Mickey Mouse style offense. Because that offense at Tennessee was, all right, go ball. And Hooker was great throwing the go ball. But he threw it over the middle of the field less than Malik Willis did. He takes way too many sacks. He's not good out of structure. When the first read is there, it'll be good. To go ball, it'll be good. If it's like having to do a bunch of post-snap processing, he's way behind. So I'm not taking him early, but mid to late, heck yeah, let's ride. In general, I think the Cowboys could very well draft a quarterback this year. So go vote. Y for yes and for no. Marvin Guzman, Bijan is a must. Pollard won't be the same. Again, I am not as worried about a tightrope ankle procedure and a healing on its own leg fracture as others. That's just me. I also say this. I do think another running back is a must. You do not ever have to take a running back in the first round. You can find one in the second, third, fourth round. It is a great class. So drafting a running back, yes. Getting Bijan is a must? No, it is not. Daniel Moriarty, would you give Hopkins 2 years, 18, or 230 if he gets cut? I mean, yeah. I kind of don't think Hopkins would settle for that. I don't know if Hopkins is going to take, certainly not 218. I'd be shocked if he went 230. So if Hopkins gets cut, I think he's going to go to a big-time contract. But the whole thing's been weird. Let's wait and see. If we did not get to your question, blame Marshall. Hit me up on Twitter at whatgoingdowney. My DMs are open. Slide in with any questions you guys have.